Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how to play 3 simple chords that will allow you to play hundreds of songs. Let's get started. Grab your guitar. First chord we're going to learn is D. D is going to be rooted on this open 4th string right here. So that's the first note we're going to play. Next I want you to take your index finger, put that on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Right there. Take your middle finger, put it on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and then take your ring finger and put that on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So you're going to have this shape right here. It'll look just like that. Okay. Make sure you give yourself enough room, like I said before in the other video. Move your thumb down here, get your knuckles out so you have enough room. If you're like this, you might choke them off. We don't want to do that. When you get used to the shape and you can wring them out, then you can go ahead and move your thumb up like I do around the neck. But for now, give yourself enough room, make it easy on yourself. We're only playing the top 4 strings, strings 1 through 4. That's D. Now to get to C, what we're going to do is we're going to keep some of these fingers anchored. We're going to use these anchor fingers, pivot fingers, we'll call them. We're going to keep this ring finger anchored right there. And then we're going to move these 2 fingers up. The 3rd finger is going to come up to the 3rd fret on the dot there, the 5th string, and then your index finger is going to come down on the 2nd fret of 4th string. So it's going to look like this. This finger's on this string right there. This finger's right there on the 3rd fret, and then underneath on the 3rd fret, your ring finger's on the 2nd string. And we're going to play starting on the 5th string. This is C note right there. Now this is a variation on a C chord. We won't get into that in the theory. Okay? A regular C chord would play it sound like this. But for now, I just want you to play this variation right here. Then to get to G, we're just going to move these 2 fingers, the index finger and the ring finger, or the middle finger, just down 1 string. So now your index finger is on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and your middle finger is on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And this ring finger hasn't moved this entire time. One other thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pinky and put him right underneath that ring finger on the 3rd fret right there. Okay. So now we have D, looks like this. We're just going to take these 2 fingers, move them like so to this position, the C, and then we're going to take those same 2 fingers and move them down 1 string like that, and then throw our pinky on underneath there. Then we're going to leave both of these fingers anchored. The ring finger and the pinky fingers, they're anchored there. And we're going to bring these 2 fingers back up and try to remember how to make that D. Like this. So I'm going like this, to this, back up to this. Now with this added on here, this is another form of D that we'll use. Play that D chord, throw that pinky down, lift it back up. feeling fancy, go ahead and try to do a hammer-on or a pull-off. A pull-off is where you play it, and then you just pull that pinky. Now Jim asked a good question. He says, well, when I try to play these chords, when you press down on the string, your finger tends to flatten out or mushroom out. And if you don't have enough space between the strings, that could cause this finger to mute this string down below here. But what happens over time is, usually a couple weeks after you start playing acoustic, or you've taken a break and you come back to playing the guitar a lot, you're going to develop calluses on your finger. You're going to have like these white, hard things that want to peel on the tips of your fingers. You can see mine, after a certain point, they'll actually just become more durable and just more firm. These fingertips are firm. Unlike on this hand here, they're softer. See how that mushrooms out? It's softer. I'm applying the same amount of pressure, and look how like white that fingertip's getting. On this hand here, it doesn't. It's much more firm. It's just firm right there. And everybody's fingers are different, so you're going to have to kind of play around with it and find out where to put your fingers and how hard to push on the frets to get the sound going. Okay. If you watch Jimmy Page play, you'll see him play that Les Paul way down here in a baseball grip. And he does a lot of things with his fingers like this, and his thumb outside like that. He's got a grip like that. He makes it work, but you got to feel around and figure out where it's going to work for you. So for now, like I recommend, get those knuckles out front, give yourself some room, come down straight as possible on top of these frets. If you play a little bit closer to the fret, you don't have to apply as much pressure. If you're back here, you usually have to push harder. So you find yourself pushing too hard, move your finger up closer to the metal fret wire. And then once again, we'll go from D to C to G. And then back and forth. G to C to D. D to C to G. One note at a time. Make sure they all ring out. Again, if you find one that's good, sounds like that, that's that guy right there. You gotta get him out of the way. And when I do that trick right there, that's called like a little walk-up, basically. I'm just picking the bottom note, 3rd fret of the 6th string, and then I'm hammering on this index finger here. I'm picking it open. Hammer on, it's exactly how it sounds, just hammer it on there. And then I continue to pick the next string open. Strum pattern that you want to use, again, is you want to keep this right hand moving up and down, and the rest is feel. When do you want to hit the downstroke? When do you want to hit the upstroke? One, two, three, four, and 1, 2, miss that note, like I just did, don't worry about it, keep going. Rhythm is more important than the notes. If you lose the rhythm, you lose the whole feel, you lose the whole song. If you lose a note, big deal, you missed a note. Come back and get it the next time. And that's it. Work on those 3 chords. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. D, C, G. And the key to this lesson is using that anchor point right there. This finger never comes off of there. And you learn to move these other fingers around that one. This is a trick that you're going to use more and more later on as the more advanced you get, is these pivot points. And really what you're doing is over and over and over again, nice and slow, you're programming into your subconscious mind how to make these grip shapes so that your hands will just naturally form that position. The calluses that you form on your fingers, all by themselves, this is how wonderfully amazing the human body is. It says, okay, you're going to continue to push down on these metal strings and wear out my fingertips. I'm just going to make them more durable. And so they do. They adapt. Over time, they just get firm. Those calluses will go away. At first they'll get white, they'll dry, and they'll peel. But just keep going. Calluses are your friend. They're a good thing to have, and they'll go away, and they'll turn into just nice, firm pads. But that's the testament to the beauty of the human body and how it can adapt. And the same thing happens when you're doing these chord shapes, is the more often you can keep repeating them, the more it's going to say, okay, I can tell you're going to put my hand in this position over and over and over again. I'm just going to get really good at it. And all your muscles and tendons and ligaments are eventually going to just develop that into muscle memory. And it'll be so easy for you to move back and forth. Don't try to go in a hurry at first. It's going to take you some time. So again, go slow. D, 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 D. Get used to counting in 4s. Most music is going to have a 4 count. It's either going to be a 4-4, 3-4, 2-4. The majority of songs that you're going to try to play are in 4-4 timing. That's just the way it is. So get used to counting in 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all you need to do. Get those 3 chords down, and then we'll learn how to transition out of these into the A and the E chords that we learned in the other lesson. And then you have access to thousands upon thousands of songs. If you want to take this one step further in the meantime, go ahead and try to transition out of each one of these and into the A. D to A. And go back to the D, use that pivot point and go to the C. Now go from the C to the A. Back to the C. And then follow again. From the D, go back to the D to get that pivot point, go to the G. And then from the G to the A. And back to the G. Then if you get really good at that, now let's try to go in and out from the E chord. From the back, start on the D again, make this easy. D, to the E. Then go back to the D, use that pivot point, take you to the C. Now go from the C into the E. Go back to the D, find that pivot point, hit the G now. Now go back from the E to G. There are many different ways to play these chords, but the way I'm teaching you now specifically is for a reason. If you're playing a lot of acoustic guitar and you want easy strumming songs, easy chords to learn, these are great hand positions to use, especially if you want to start using a capo. Capo is a great instrument to use if you're an acoustic player and you want to change keys very quickly. You're just moving this nut up and down. So these basic shapes will follow all the way up the fretboard if you have a capo. So learn these chords just like I taught you, going back and forth, and you'll be amazed at how quickly you're picking up songs. And we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. And any questions or comments, leave them below, and I'll see you next time.